All right, everyone. Today we've got Cliff, the founder of Tampa Latest. Cliff, welcome to the show, man.
Welcome. Appreciate you having me. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on, man, sharing your story.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I got a lot to tell.
I can't wait to hear it. We were just talking about podcasting and how it's kind of shifted in the last, obviously, few years. It's super popular. And you were saying maybe you would create a podcast for Tampa Latest. Kind of where are you at on that? Can that be revealed or?
Yeah, I mean, that's more of like later down in the future because we got a lot of more other stuff in the works. But like, I always try to think about what's another way I can help business owners promote, to the local community and stuff
Right.
like that. So, podcasts, what you guys are doing, great platform to let people actually tell what their business is about. And so, I always thought about it, but for right now, I'll probably do that later down in the road till we finish setting up all this other stuff we got behind the scenes.
I'm sure there's a ton of stuff you're thinking about, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We were looking into your website and kind of what you've created here. It's so much more than an Instagram page.
Yeah.
You've really created a business for yourself. Mm-hmm. That kind of brand promotion and business outreach, that's a huge part of it. And obviously where you're at now is very different from where you guys started. Mm-hmm. How did you come up with the idea to start Tampa Latest?
Okay, yeah. So I get asked this all the time. So it's like I mainly got two reasons why I did this. So I own a marketing company. So my day job, I do marketing and for local businesses for SEO and stuff like that, building websites. And I was thinking of a way like, how can I get businesses to reach out to me? Because I was tired of doing all the cold calling. I was, sometimes you get contracts and then now you got to fight for your own leads. It was a pain, and I'm trying to tell you, it was a pain. So I created this. I was like, matter of fact, let me just showcase what I can do in, with my marketing and build a platform for businesses to want to be on it and reach out to me instead of
Right.
trying to just go out there and cold call and stuff like that. So that's how I came up with the idea with that. And then secondly, it was mainly because to no disrespect to all the influencers out here, there's tons of foodie pages out here.
Right.
There's hundreds.
Too many.
Yeah, too many. And I love all of them because I use them as well for, content influence. I collab with them. So I forever appreciate influencers. So I was like, well, Tampa is really not all that great. You got to be honest. It's not. Let's be honest.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, we came along. Yeah. As in great, I mean, it's not always good stuff happening in Tampa. So it wasn't really a platform where it really showcased everything, like the good, the bad, of like, every time I see somebody promoting Tampa, it's all good stuff. Like, right. I love it. Oh, snap, I want to go there. But it wasn't really a platform where you can see, something bad that just happened last week where somebody vandalized the African American.
I saw that, yeah.
Exactly. So you're really not going to find somebody that's going to promote that unless you're watching TV on the news. So this is why I came up with this concept of like, let me just show the real side of Tampa.
Right.
And I think that was the reason why it grew so fast, because I wasn't scared to just post whatever.
Right. So so you initially had the idea of almost like this media, like this news source versus check out these restaurants, check out these businesses. It was more like, hey, anything and everything Tampa, come here to find out the latest news.
Exactly. So when I came up with that idea, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just run with it, because at the same time, I can always just promote all the good stuff as well. I I get invited out to these local restaurants, and I can make a little reel about it, about the grand opening, because it's the latest thing that's happening, the latest thing that's, coming to the city. And so it kind of ties in all together, and it doesn't really have to be just all good stuff, because let's face it, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in Tampa. So especially in Ybor City, where we're at right now.
That's so true. Oh my gosh, especially here in Ybor City.
Exactly.
Yeah, we really are. We always talk about like, this is the heart of the crazy shit, the culture, all the wild food, like everything you see on the news from around the country in Tampa is usually here in Ybor City.
Exactly. This is where I get most of my content.
Well, the video you have of the dog, the guy on the one wheel, pull that up, Tyler, real quick. Yeah. Dude, that video went off crazy.
Yeah.
And your analytics, right? Like, your numbers are wild, man. I mean, you're getting millions and millions of views.
Yep.
In the very beginning, did you kind of pop off really quickly with some of these numbers? Did you have that one video that set off the bomb, or how did all that play out?
Man, it was Honestly, it took a while for it to actually took off. So
Yeah.
I Tampa Late has actually been started probably about a year and a half ago. So, but in that meantime, a lot of people would say that's a short amount of time just to have that many followers already. But beforehand, I did hit a lot of different, trials. I'm like, what's working? Like, you know what I mean? I had to really figure out my audience and see what they really like. And so at first, I had a couple videos, but then as soon as I started posting like the reality of Tampa, it
Right.
started popping off, and then a lot of people, value information about what's really going on and what's funny. A lot of people don't like to just be serious all the time. So sometimes seeing
So
something
true.
that's cool, they was like, man, I love this.
But all centered around Tampa.
Yeah, everything about Tampa.
Everything about Tampa, right?
Yeah.
So you've got this crazy video of this guy. The dog he's walking is on a one wheel, and then he's on his own one wheel. This video has 3.5 million likes. I don't know how many millions of views. So
62. Yeah.
this, 62 million views. That's crazy. Was this one of the defining pieces of content for you where you were like, oh damn, like this is some serious numbers?
Yeah. Well, before then, I had a couple of videos just reaching 1 million. Like before that one, I had probably like 3 or 4 that hit over 1 million. But that dog one really took me to probably about 20K followers in a matter of like days. Like,
Crazy.
yeah, it was just once people started circulating that around the city, I guess that was like, oh shoot, this guy's all about Tampa. Like, he posts everything that's Tampa related. And he's not he doesn't care what he posts. I mean, I do care at some time.
Yeah.
I try to like sort through all my content. That's a lot of people ask me as well, like how do I pick what I put on the page? And so a lot of people do send me content constantly, like every day. I have to like sort them through because they be trying to get on the page, and it'd be a lot of crazy stuff.
I wanted to talk to you about that too, because obviously you can't go out alone and get all these crazy videos. And you mentioned a little bit before about certain influencers you partner with.
Yeah.
Do you have people like boots on the ground that are out there just finding crazy shit, or do you get fed a lot of stuff?
Yeah, so majority is mainly fed to me through tags and stuff like that, or I will search it and I would be like, oh man, this is crazy, and then either they didn't know that I had this type of platform, and I'll be searching for content, and I just reach out to them, let them know that we can collab or something. But usually influencers, they love to collab because I love to collab as well because if you can see my last couple of posts with the Jackson House. That's with Tampa Bay Raw, and mainly all the voiceovers you hear is me. So,
Well, you did phenomenal on that one. In fact, it was so good. Tyler and I were showing it to each other, thinking, really we should be putting out content because we're, I would say you're more like news, right? General. I think our content is history, culture, real estate, growth. Those genres. But this would be right up our alley. We've actually posted on the Jackson House before. Such a long story and unfortunate the way it unfolded.
Yep.
And this post in particular is about the deal that was made between the city and 717 parking. It's really kind of shitty that the city had to give up more land than 717 was willing to give. But this is a building that should have been figured out decades ago, not last week.
Absolutely.
What's kind of obviously separate from content on this story? Personal opinion. I mean, I don't know how the hell they're going to renovate this thing. What do you think about the whole mess?
Honestly, 717 got the better deal, obviously, but to see it at least, attempting. If they attempt it, then of course, then they're probably going to realize this might not be something they might be able to restore.
Yeah.
But if they, they have to probably attempt it just to see if they can actually do something like this. But it would be dope to see a museum.
Oh my God.
It's just unfortunate it's in a weird place, just in the parking lot like that's owned by 717. So, and it's just, this is one of the content that I needed to collab with as an example. Because one of the guys that I use, his name is Tampa Bay Raw, and he does dope content. And I kind of like tried to plan on my content, and I worked with him before. I knew he has these amazing video clips of the Jackson House, and so I just reached out to him and said, "Hey, this happened recently, and we should make a story out of this." And then I'll do a little voiceover, and then that's how I usually do all my collabs, and we plan together, and then we just collab and let the community know what's going on in the city.
You guys nailed it, man. Tampa Bay Raw he does like drone stuff.
Yeah, mainly drones,
Yeah,
crazy stuff,
he's
everything.
talented.
Yep.
But yeah, the Jackson House. I think kind of what ended up happening was 717 owned, like you were saying, on either side of that building, and there was a proposal made where 717 would give up. I believe it was like 10 feet on either side of the building. Do you know the story that intricately?
Yeah, it's something about they end up getting more square feet from that property. So I think the side that the Jackson House is on, they end up. I think the city got that side where it's facing the road, and then the rest of they end up getting. I don't know. I didn't really look at the map like that, but they end up getting a sweeter deal because they got more square foot of land and stuff like that. But I guess they just
Yeah, go back real quick. Yeah, it says on there. It says that 717 Parking provided the Jackson House restoration project with 2,100 square feet of their parking lot space. In exchange, the parking company received a larger parcel, over 9,000 square feet. Yeah, so they received over 3 times more than what
three
they.
times.
Yeah, that's kind of a tricky situation. I don't know why. And there's obviously this is a deep story. I don't know all the details, but it almost seems like 717, like they could have easily been the hero in the situation and been like, hey, we're going to save the Jackson House. Like those guys, I mean, 717, I think they own like half the land in Tampa, right?
Yep.
I figured it was an easy save for them to be like, we're going to be the ones to save it. They could have been the hero. I don't know why they didn't. I'm sure it's a complicated situation.
They probably
I don't
just, honestly, I'm not going to say it. They probably just wanted to destroy it and get more parking.
Hey, man.
That's what I think they was waiting on.
I certainly think they like parking. That's for sure. And the more the better in their eyes,
absolutely.
Right? Well, yeah, I agree with you. If they could at least renovate it and turn it into a museum, how cool would that be? And it's in a perfect location right next to Harvey Park.
Yep.
So the location kind of makes sense. It is in like a parking lot zone.
Yeah. That whole area is just full of history.
I know, it really is.
And a lot of people don't know about it. So that's why this was a great topic to touch, because that whole area is history.
Central Avenue, man. So when my grandfather was mayor, he said that area was an amazingly entrepreneurial business district for the black community. He had a ton of friends in there. Moses White was one of them. My grandfather told me that when the race riots broke out in the 1960s, he and Moses White were out there walking the street. Moses had a shotgun kind of pulling security because he was a business owner there. And I said, how did no one shot at you guys or wanted to mess with you? He said, no, because Moses was such an outstanding member of that community. Like there was just tensions high and the mayor and Moses standing together kind of brought everyone calm. But people don't know Central Avenue, right where that Bro Bowl is, kind of where 275 rolls up, that used to be a long stretch of businesses, tons of Tampa history in that area.
Tons.
Are you familiar with some of those details?
Not too much exactly, but the whole Central Avenue, that was literally housing everybody. Everybody. That was a spot to really be at. And so to see it somewhat keep history, that's why the Harvey Park has all that, monument right there. The art pieces and stuff like that. So that whole area is just full of history. And
that top article, Tyler, right there.
Oh yeah,
that's that actually is the park. There was a vandal that destroyed some of the artwork and some of the displays out there. It's really horrible.
Actually, if you go to the page, the Instagram page, I was out there actually just filming.
That was you?
Yeah, that was me.
I recognize that voice.
Yeah. So I was just out there filming that day, and I was out there with the news. And it was talking about it and stuff like that. And this is just stuff like that I do to try to let the community know what's going on, even though it's not good news, but at least people know what's going on in the city.
Do you think that news sources will shift more? I guess they already have shifted, but do you think they'll be almost exclusively on social platforms in the next 5-10 years?
Probably so. I kind of see it now already. Because, nowadays I don't even own cable, to be honest with you. All my news, I go to the internet to find stuff. Even people just get their news off of Facebook nowadays. So I see that they're going to start, doing more social media stuff and stuff like that because they have to. A lot of people are not watching cable.
No.
So they have to like pivot into like this new era of media.
It makes sense though. Like internet media is quicker. It's free.
It's free,
It's on your phone, so you always have it. Like,
and you can share it to a friend and talk
Right.
about it.
yeah, it makes sense. I think you're a big part of that locally. Like you could be like the next Fox 13, right?
Yeah,
Of online media.
yeah, I would love it because they promote everything, man. But it's kind of hard doing it because by yourself as well. So it's like you gotta have a team to do something that's big full time, like something like this, because it's a lot to cover.
You started the whole thing alone.
Yeah, I started it all alone until probably not till recently. To be honest with you, I hired a writer, and then also hired a content editor. So sometimes it'd be too much content for me, so I just have somebody there to edit videos and stuff, and then they go in and publish everything for me. I send out a list of like top stories that I think you should write about, and then they go and do that. Or I got businesses that want press releases for us to write about, and then that gets promoted on there. As you can see, you got the Secret Tattoo Studios. That's one of our clients as well, advertising some of his tattoo works for new clients to come into his tattoo shops. We got a video coming out with him.
Man.
Yeah.
Very almost like a publication. You're the editor in chief. You're having to run stories and find out what's popular and meet with advertisers. And this is all in a year and a half.
A year and a half. Yeah.
That's insane.
I started
man.
around right before Gasparilla of last year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to you. This thing's blown up like wildfire. It's incredible to see. I love local stuff like this too because what you do is so important. Like there's a couple other pages out there that kind of do what you do a little bit. Like Tampa Tomorrow's gotten really popular in the last probably year and a half too. They're more real estate. You are more broad, right? But there's these other pages, and I think every page serves its purpose. Yours is this broad level news source. I think it's fascinating and amazing. For you, in the last couple months, as you've expanded and hired people, from like a business standpoint, what was that like? Because here you are, you're alone. You're just trying to create this Instagram, and then it blows up. Now you're doing this. Now you're doing that. What was that decision like to bring more people on board?
Yeah, so it started once I realized I couldn't respond back to all the emails requests. I was like, man, you know what? I need to have somebody come in because it was times where people wouldn't get a response back in a week or so, and they really needed to promote their event. And so I was like, you know what? I really need to get somebody to at least tune in into my messages, or I want to be able to help the community faster. And so once that happened, I was like, okay, let's take this more seriously. Let's do a lot more collabs with local businesses. Let's go out here and let's try to be different in our own kind of way, and then also to continue to grow. Like I said, we're in different cities now since then as well. So we got like 5 locations, I believe. Was it 5 locations? Yeah,
That's amazing.
Like Dallas, Miami, Atlanta, Orlando. Orlando's our next big one at like 80,000.
So 305 latest is Miami, and it's all latest, right? Orlando latest, Dallas latest. Here's Orlando. Damn, bro, 80,000 followers. Now, when did you start Orlando latest?
Orlando latest was less than a year because once I figured out the code.
80K in less than a year?
Yeah, less than a year. Yeah, less than a year.
Amazing.
See, it took me a while to grow because I didn't know how to crack the code at first. So once I realized how to crack the code, I started teaching my guys exactly what they need to do, how to publish, and like how to get the stories, how to write content. And once that happened, it was easy to grow because I believe this was maybe 5 months, 6 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. So you've got like an editor in charge or someone in charge, a manager of each individual page.
Yep.
I feel like that would be the only way to do it, right?
Yep.
You can't do everything.
No. Nope. So their job is to focus on that area alone. And so pretty much everything I do, but they're doing it in a different city, different state, city.
And then it's just plug and play, right? Because you kind of know what to do in Tampa, and that can be translated. Bro, Orlando's got some crazy shit, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That might be the number 2 market for the crazy stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Outside of Tampa, Orlando's got to be number 2.
He's almost about to pass the Tampa page with 80. So
I feel like Orlando's known more internationally, right?
Yep, there is. And exactly. A lot of people wants to visit Orlando, so they follow the page because they
Right.
know they're about to vacation there, so they want to know what's going on. So
I feel like there's so many things that happen. Let's just take Tampa as an example, obviously an indie city, but man, how do you manage it all? Sounds like you've needed people. Was there a moment where you're like, it almost sounds like out of necessity you had to take on more people? You're like, all right, I can't do this alone.
yeah. Well, the vision behind expanding to more locations is because I have a really close group of friends, right? And in the future we plan on expanding. We have a lot of stuff coming out that we're going to be promoting to the community. So we got a product coming out soon, and then we're also getting into real estate as well. I know you do real estate as well, and so we're going to try to make another content based off of the page, and we're going to kind of help the community know where you can live at in Tampa.
Oh, cool.
Places to buy, like this home is available and stuff like that. Every now and then, so we get into that, but mainly it was because our product we're about to make. So each of my friends now can create a product, and we can all just distribute in all these different locations. I have a product that's coming out. I got like 5 different contracts right now. I need a couple more steps to get there. I'm also looking for some angel investors at the moment. So I just need some final touches for that. And then eventually you start seeing it on Tampa latest and stuff like that. So
Okay. Is it something you can reveal today on the show?
no, not right now.
Okay.
No.
Maybe off air.
Yeah, off air, I'll talk to you about that.
Well, that's the future, right? You know, I feel like a lot of businesses today who are just starting out should definitely focus on their product and kind of what they offer to the public, right? But there's something to be said about creating a platform first. Right? If you can create that platform with followers and viewership and this big audience, you can put a product in the marketplace, and then you already have the platform to feed it to the marketplace.
Exactly.
So that's kind of the vision. Expand upon that vision though. What else do you see Tampa latest kind of getting into?
Getting into was the next step is probably, like I said, mentioned, really is the real estate side of it. Because we already got the promo side with helping local businesses, reach out to us. But now it's more of how we can add more content material to the page, and we haven't really touched on any real estate, development, like as in helping the community know what prices is, where how much did this house cost, or like a lot of people are trying to move to Tampa. Like this is crazy. So we're trying to build off what people want to know about. So real estate is definitely going to be the next move where we're about to get into and expand. Because as you do market searches and stuff, content search volumes, you can see the number of people that's loving real estate.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, might as well just help and add more content to the page and stuff like that. So that's probably be the next future for Tampa latest.
Well, there's so many people moving here, like you said. I mean, I bet if you looked up Tampa, like what are things people are searching for on Google about Tampa? For sure, like how much is a house? What's the best neighborhood to live in, right? Like that's a huge part of the attention on our city is the real estate plus all the development, man. Like even here in Ybor City, look at all the crazy shit going on, the buildings everywhere. I mean, it's like every neighborhood has the amazing projects going on. So you'd be silly to not put out some of that news.
Yep.
Now, is this going to be a separate platform, or how is it going to be released?
Yes, so it's going to be a separate platform, but we're going to be collabing with the original page. So every once in a while, I want to see if it's a good material because I plan on collabing with different realtors, or I plan on getting my license as well.
Oh, cool.
So I can kind of collab in a way, because there's a bunch of businesses, as in new construction companies, builders, I would say, that contact us for us to promote the new construction homes. And so I was thinking, might as well try to get into the real estate game.
Yeah,
and then
100%.
Collab with them, and then try to help the community as well to see where you can buy homes at.
Being a realtor, a real estate agent is really all about having the right network. And a lot of new agents try to focus on the contract and learning how to conduct an open house or buying the suit and buying the car, right? But what you really should focus on as a new agent is, hey, who do I know that wants to buy or sell a house?
Yep.
And for you, that question can be answered probably in some of the resources you've created through Tampa Latest. I would imagine you get a million DMs like, hey, man, I'm moving to Tampa. Where's the best neighborhood, right?
Yep.
If you have a real estate license, you could capture that person
Yep.
and you could say, fantastic, I'll help you out. I mean, there's a lot of money to be made down that avenue. So that totally makes sense.
Yep. I get asked that all the time, so I see it through the DMs. Where the best places to live. People love seeing content like that. Best neighborhoods to live in Tampa.
Yeah.
And then, I believe that was West Chase this year. I think that was ranked number 1.
Oh, yeah.
This year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just adding more content, giving people to know like what's really going on and where you can buy, where you can. Everything. This page is really just going to span on every single thing because I really can expand to any different field the way I really wanted to, because it's not like just a foodie page. I can really expand to just every single niche if I really need to.
Well, you could, I mean, I guess that could be individual pages for each niche, right? Like Tampa real estate latest, right? There could be like a foodie real estate, or a foodie Tampa latest rather, right? You can kind of have all these different arms within Tampa latest. So that's the vision, is just expansion, man. That's awesome. Do you know Tampa Tomorrow personally?
No. I mean, I only know a select few of influencers that does more of like the foodie pages, like the experience, things to do and stuff like that. One of my good friends is Joe with Tampa Bay is Awesome. He's kind of we hung up a couple of times, exchanged ideas on like different materials and stuff like that. He's honestly one of the bigger ones in this game right now. He's been doing this for a while, and so that's one of the people that I kind of like wanted to collab with ever since I started this. And there's some different pages on here. Like I said, it allowed me to brainstorm to see exactly
100%.
Where to take what I can do different, what other people are doing. I'm not trying to be like the same page as everyone else's.
Exactly. Well, I think that Tampa has blown up so much in the last few years that it's almost this new market, like a Wild West, where it's like anyone's game. I mean, you creating a real estate page, it can be completely different from Tampa Tomorrow, right? There could be 50 different real estate pages. It's just there's so much content to create because there's so much happening here. There's so many new people moving here that you have all this new attention. There doesn't need to just be one page, man. There probably should be multiple pages on each subject.
It should. And that's one thing I didn't want to do, is create a lot of pages so I could create a hub. That hub can really take you. You can go to a website and find the information you need. But then the only way I was going to do it is if it was going to be basically off of real estate, and then really focus on different locations, because I plan on expanding the products to different cities and stuff like that. Right. So because we know how to grow in different cities. So the more cities we can grow in, that gives us a better value to promote businesses as a whole deal. Like, hey, we can promote you in all these different cities with your product. And so they can really see the value in that. And
that makes sense.
Like, we have like 20 cities over 100K in each market. They can see they want to promote to an audience as in Atlanta only. Then we have that. We have that to offer. So,
are you seeing challenges between different markets? Like, was Tampa's page easier to create and grow than Orlando or Miami?
Yeah. So the reason why we picked those other cities, because it's actually a bigger market than Tampa. So Tampa was, since I lived here, I was like, you know what, let me just try something out. And once I cracked the code, I realized, okay, let's try it in a bigger market. Like, Orlando's way bigger. Let's be honest, it's so much more flooded than Tampa. And so we did that. And in Miami as well. Miami is crazy. It's just as crazy. Everybody goes to vacay in Miami. So that's like the top city. So those other cities, I noticed, expanded way faster because it's a bigger market. Mm-hmm. And so once I realized that, I was like, wow, we really need to hit these major cities. There's nothing against Tampa. Tampa is amazing. It's a lot of people, but let's be honest, these other cities are way more bigger than Tampa is.
Well, especially Miami. I mean, you can go anywhere on the planet and people will go, oh, Miami, right?
That's the first thing they think of.
Yeah, that is, especially when you talk about Florida, right? It's Miami. Yep. Yeah, that is surprising to me, only because I would imagine there's already a Miami latest page. Like, how does that already not not exist, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think the closest thing to that is Miami-Dade.
only in
Only in
Dade,
Dade, yeah, only
bro.
in Dade.
That page is so funny. Now
Yeah.
they've got some crazy followers. I think they
Mhm.
have.
They pretty
Last
much
time I
was
was on
like
there, 350, like 350,000.
yeah, million. Yeah,
1.3. Damn.
yeah, 1.3. They pretty much was this probably like the staple piece of like this type of material content. Like in the what's that's another one? Only in Florida, man. There's another one.
Oh, that
That
one's
one, Florida one.
huge.
Yeah,
Bro, there's so much content in Florida like this. It's so
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
I wonder if
Exactly.
you could do the same amount of content in like Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, right? Like I feel
I
like
don't know.
Florida has all this good shit.
Yeah, I feel like the
Look at
only
these
way.
posts. You got this super yacht next to a lizard, next to dolphins, right? Like you
Yeah,
can't do that in Nebraska.
I feel like you can probably do this in New York. New York too. New
Right.
York is crazy.
Right. There's only a few select places.
And this is there. See the way he does it as well is it's a great way to promote because sometimes you want to narrow down your content to a niche like really so that business owners can really promote to their target audience
Right.
because you don't want to promote on a page that has a target audience that's all over the place. Like at least like if you're promoting on Tampa latest, probably majority of my followers are based out of Tampa.
Right.
So like if you have a business it's in Tampa, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get seen by someone that's living in Tampa, and their
Right.
chances of going to your business is sky high.
Yeah, a local business would have to have those analytics. That's
Yep.
what's cool about you guys is you can show a business like, hey, we're very market specific.
Yep.
I feel like other pages, even if they had like 1 million followers, who cares if none of those followers are local, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you've had a lot of success with local businesses, right?
Yep.
And you're trying to expand that to these other markets. Interesting, man. Fascinating business. I feel like this is the future of news, media, marketing, advertising. It's such a new thing. I mean, like 5, 10 years ago, Instagram really wasn't what it is today, obviously, but today it's like, man, that's how everyone gets their news.
And that's what I was thinking about too. It's like if I had a business, this is why I created this. I would want to promote my business on a page that's mainly concentrated on my city or my target audience, like where my business is at. Because a lot of times, a lot of business owners don't really know how to use their marketing money in the right areas.
Right.
I see it all the time in the marketing field, where they promote to different influencers, but their audience is nowhere near their business. They either they're promoting to different influencers that's not in their particular niche, whatever. And so this way, if I was a business owner, you would have to. This is where you can get more value for your bang for your buck because I can easily team up and host a coupon or a giveaway or something with a business owner. You can just meet me here and showcase their business. At least they know that this community is my followers are basically out of Tampa and they know where their value is going to go.
Especially would be true with the real estate page because, if I'm a Tampa realtor, what does advertising in Georgia do for me? Nothing. And I feel like a lot of businesses, when they get involved in social advertising, they just see the numbers where it's like, oh, we hit 100K accounts. But, bro, that doesn't matter if they're not in your market.
Exactly.
So how does so you own a marketing company, right? You're a marketing guy. That's kind of how you have this maybe more of an insight than other people in this specific field. But how does that translate? Like, are you still active in your marketing company as well?
So this is ever since I created this gave me a platform to get to the business owner directly. So now I'm talking to him about advice on how to do his marketing. So now I kind of walk them through. Now they're teaming up with us. I can help them with their SEO or help them with their social media. It's mainly setting them up with pretty much helping their business with their marketing budget. And a lot of them don't really know what to do the next step on helping their business grow. So now that platform allowed me to just team up with probably like 20 different businesses just based off an Instagram page. And they just reach out because they just want to be seen, but then not realize what else they can do beyond marketing. So
is there a specific type of business that has come to you, or is it just all across the board?
It's honestly, I find it's new every time. Like it's really different every time. So one day is usually all restaurants. Next thing you know, is all about events. Like everybody wants to promote their events, or new businesses is opening, grand opening, new things like with Busch Gardens, partner
Right.
with Busch Gardens. Busch Gardens want like they want anything new. They just the whole
Busch Gardens hit you up?
yeah, Busch Gardens. I'm teamed up with Busch Gardens and what's the other one?
The water park, Adventure Island.
Yeah, they're a collab. So
Right.
the one in yeah, SeaWorld.
Oh, damn,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, that's amazing, right? So these different companies, is there a certain perception you want to have with your page that showcases professionalism or something like that? Because I would imagine a law firm, maybe a law firm is the wrong example because they probably would, but like World Star, right? Like you're not going to get like a child's daycare center to promote on World Star. You know what I'm saying? Like there has to be this look. Do you ever think about like, okay, what does the page need to look like to attract?
Yep. So this is exactly why I kind of throw everything in to where it's like a headliner post, and so it's not just promoting all the crazy stuff as well. So I kind of have to balance it out because then I don't want to seem like a meme page. You know,
Right.
you got to add value to where people be like, oh wow, I didn't know this was happening in the city, or see as something like that. A lot of people didn't know about the museum was having a free day. Like so, you have to make sure you're not just doing one type of content the whole time. And ever since then, I honestly never had a problem with other businesses thinking that they're, there's no professional. Like we try
Right.
to keep it professional. We won't. There's a lot of crazy stuff that we get sent to, and I'd be like, nah, I can't post this. Like I can't post this because
Yeah.
it's like it's too much. Like I probably get taken down or get
Right.
strike. So
Well, then you turn into one of those like World Star pages,
Yeah.
and then it's like, all right, well,
Yeah.
regular people aren't going to follow that.
Exactly.
Mom and dad aren't going to.
Exactly. So every once in a while, if it's like if I'd be like, okay, this actually happened in Tampa, and it's something that people should actually know that happened recently, then maybe I might post it. But
Right.
I try to keep it PG as much as possible. But sometimes it's like I can't help it. That's what
Tampa, Florida, bro.
It's Tampa.
It's hard to operate in the PG
Yeah,
arena.
it's Tampa. You're gonna see it all down here. So
And then there's those more kind of long-winded stories of history like the Jackson House where it almost takes a specific kind of content, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this very emotional news story combined with a video reel, right? So it's like, how do you balance the two? And you've done it in a really kind of eloquent way where you're really you're not putting your opinion on it. It's like very factual.
Yep.
It's kind of just, hey, this is what this is. Here's what's happening. Here's the story.
Exactly. It's more about the way you have to promote is you can't have an opinion. You gotta let other people, have their opinion on what's happening. You gotta be completely on both sides.
Right.
Once I realize that, then it's like you gotta let them just do whatever they do. I don't even respond to comments because it's like people are just gonna say whatever they want to say. So it's like you can't pick a side when it comes to this type of content. So you just gotta there's more of just letting the community know. And this is why it's called the latest, because you're gonna find everything that's new or whatever. Just a lot of people that didn't know that came in Tampa, or events, things to do, and what just happened over the weekend that was bad. That a lot of people are scared to post, but I posted anyways because that's what happened. The latest thing that happened. So
you're talking about the Perry Harbor Park.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. A lot. Even one of the comments I think I read was, "Thank you for putting the spotlight on this." So it's kind of what I do it for, is to let people know, putting spotlights on certain things that I believe should be put a spotlight on, and just a lot of people don't watch the news and didn't realize this even happened in the city. And this is why it spreads so fast, because this is like the new news of the day. So
people post some crazy comments on there too. Someone was like, "Where's the Italian or Jewish art?" Asking, like, come on, like let's not add more hate to the mix. Although, I know that probably feels good, but
you can't control it. These days, I done seen it all. It's like, I try to, I can't, it's so many comments to even go through sometimes, but luckily Instagram has it to where if they say something really crazy, then it automatically doesn't even show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it doesn't show.
It just deletes it?
Yeah, well, I have to go in and actually approve it, like type thing.
Flags it for you.
Yeah, it flags it for me. And then I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm glad you flagged this.
I'm glad that didn't stay up for long.
Yeah, because it's so hard to go through each individual comment and see what's actually being said and posted. So it's like, I just let it run.
For sure. I thought you had to comment and like reply to people and like their comments to grow a page more quickly, but you don't do that at all. Did you do that in the beginning? Like respond to people and everything?
In the beginning, yes, because it's a smaller fan base. You can do it so much more easily. And beforehand, I was in the groundworks. I'm out making content. I'm out here shooting restaurants for free. Like I'm just out here just filming content, thinking of ideas of how to do this, and then liking people's stuff. Before, it wasn't even Tampa Ladies when I first started. It was a different name beforehand.
Oh, no shit. What was the name?
It was City Area Network.
City Area Network.
Yep. It was supposed to be a networking type page for the city. And then I was like, you know what? Let me narrow it down some more. Let me just put the name Tampa, and then really get into our audience, like really engaged into our fan base. And ever since then, just took off.
I like Tampa Latest a lot better.
Yeah.
It's a way better name. City Area Network is hilarious. So networking, I mean, events, right? Live events. It sounds like you've done everything. You have the blog and the newsletter. You've got obviously the Instagram pages. I noticed you also have a YouTube channel.
Yep.
Are you going to get into any sort of like a live event space where there's like a meetup of people?
Yeah. So we're partnering up with MMG Studios, and right now we're trying to figure out how we can do some type of thing with like the community, and try to do a collab with maybe creators, and everybody can come in, or like have all my businesses that I'm partnered with. They can have creators come out and shoot content for, and it's just like a networking event and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because MMG Studios, they have an amazing studio place. They got the whole setup, studio, event space for you can take photos and everything. So it's
my God, yeah, I've been there too. Shout out Cabry, awesome guy. Modern Media Group Studios. We've done work with them with my real estate company. They've done videos for us and a photo shoot. Very nice people, and all UT kids, which I thought was really cool. These young graduates out here creating their own business and reaching out into the community. And now you see them at Green Lemon and working with you and real estate companies. And I feel like they've made a very successful business out of basically a passion project from college, which is a cool thing.
And that's the thing. I'm trying to get into see how we can come up with something so that we can do. Like I said, we have the business podcast episodes that we might get into, but that might not be until later down the road, because that's another avenue I can add on to the page as well, just to get businesses to talk about their business.
100%. Yeah, I think some of those stories about local businesses is why first of all, we've had a lot of fun with this show. It's because we've met some cool people that are doing cool things around Tampa. But yeah, if you could open it up to businesses just for collaboration, for insight, you have a lawyer on that started a law firm, you get a lot of local lawyers interested to watch that episode, right? Yep. So that makes sense. You could take this anywhere. That's what's wild about it. That's what I love about what you've created is it's this blank canvas, but it's local, right? I mean, even on YouTube, man, you could do a YouTube channel showcasing businesses.
Yeah, actually on my YouTube, I got a personal YouTube, and that's why he's recording right now. It's kind of like behind the scenes of all our events that we go to. That a lot of people don't see what actually goes into making our content. Like what one we did? We did one with Red Bull. We're sponsored with Red Bull for the Miami page, and so we did like a behind the scenes of like the wakeboarding event.
Oh,
and
cool.
It was crazy. So, like, on YouTube, you can find, like, all our behind-the-scenes events and stuff like that. I think we did Busch Garden. We try to come up with, like, different things.
It sounds like you have a lot coming at you.
Yeah. It's just something that we
like
just
Red Bull, Busch Gardens, like all these companies. Do you have a person that manages these accounts?
A lot of people, I got two that actually manage my emails. And then once they go through, they'll let me know what they're trying to do, like the finishing touches of it, and then I'll take it over from there. But
I think the link was on the Instagram, Tyler.
Oh, you're not gonna find it.
Oh no,
not the behind the scenes. Yeah, it's more on my.
It's in the works.
It's actually on my personal page. So it's my personal one. So it's like I'm really behind the scenes when it comes to Tampa Latest. A lot of people don't know who runs Tampa Latest, and so I like to keep it like that. So not as in like I don't like being front and center.
Right,
You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
Because a lot of times,
Well, you're here, right?
yeah, I'm
Like,
here, but it's only I'm more of the voiceover guy. I'm recording. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like being the guy to be like showing my face. Like, you know, a lot of people just want to get the information. You know, all that talking in front of the
I
camera.
wonder, yeah, that's kind of an interesting question, right? Like,
Yeah.
do you think about that? Hey, would it help the page? Would it hurt the page if I reveal myself?
Yeah, I think about that too. You know, I really don't really know if it would make a difference or not.
Well, you wouldn't want it to hurt. I don't know that it would hurt.
No, it wouldn't hurt.
But I think what you said was really true and spot on about like people just want the information,
That's it.
right? Like they just want to get the content and keep scrolling. And
Because it's mainly it's a brand. You know,
Right.
it's not an individual page.
Right.
Like, so I have different people that actually I film in my videos. So like he's in some of my videos. I have another girl that will, if I don't want to be in the video, I'll film her doing a video. Or one of these events, I'll just bring a helper with me and I'll film them eating or something. So I'm mainly the camera guy
Yeah.
or the planner or the editor. You know, a lot of people don't like seeing. You know, it's just a brand. I'm trying to create a brand instead of just
Yeah.
like a personal page.
I know
So,
how you feel 100% because with this podcast and really this page, I kind of started off that way. When I first started this Instagram, I just wanted to put on there like some houses I had flipped and some
Yep.
real estate investments I was doing. I didn't even have the idea of a podcast. Tyler's going to scroll back into oblivion to find it. But
Okay.
although we haven't posted a crazy amount, you could probably get there pretty quick. But anyway, yeah, I just started it. I didn't want to put my face on there, you know, and then it became like, hey man, no one's really doing a podcast about like Tampa's history and culture and growth or at least no one's doing it as a young person, like very excited about the city.
Yeah.
And so I bought the equipment and then we just started rolling and that's how it turned into it, man, completely organic. But you can see I had never shown my
Yeah.
face before. I was just putting up beautiful pictures of the city and then some projects I was doing.
Yep. And that's the same thing with me before as well. I was never doing voiceovers. I was terrified of doing voiceovers. Like I was like, man, I keep messing up. I like, how do these people do these voiceovers? Like I was like, holy cow! Like these guys are amazing at voiceovers. So I was at some point in time, I was like, I'm gonna just start paying these people to start doing voiceover for me. And then I realized, nah, they take too long. Like
Yeah.
I have to do it myself. Like I'm very like I got to get the news out. Like, you know what I'm saying. So once I just started practicing some more, I was like, all right, I could do this. Let me just keep doing voiceovers and then
Well, you sound great.
appreciate it.
And now when I watch a video, I can be like, that's Cliff from Tampa Latest. I know him.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I'll throw somebody else on there. So I trick people. So like you never know who's gonna be like, I'm serious. A lot of people don't really sometimes it might be a girl voiceover on that. So like you never know.
Okay, what's the deal with black and white? Tampa Entrepreneurs, black and white. Tampa Tomorrow, black and white. Tampa Latest, black and white. What's up with the black and white theme we got going on?
It's clean.
It is clean. It's
just
sharp
clean.
as a tack. I love it. Looks
just,
good.
It's just clean.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to do something. I wanted something simple. You know, I didn't want just like colorful. Like it just what really sticks out is your logo. So
Yeah.
if you have something that's clear, I actually changed my logo. It was actually something else before that.
Recently, right? I don't
Yeah,
even remember.
just recently. I wanted something a little bit more modern. So a little bit. So I was like, you know what? I fell in love with this one. Once I hit 100K, I actually changed it. So I was like, you know what? It's
time.
let's revamp. So I did that, and I just loved it ever since then. It was just simple, short.
Well, man,
straight to the point.
you got an amazing road ahead of you. I think this thing's going to blow up bigger than you ever imagined. And I know it already has for you, but I can see this going national, man. Like, why couldn't this be in every city? Curated content, you know, specific for a local market at this large scale where, you know, one company is kind of in charge of all these markets. Really no different than like the Business Journal, right? There's like the Tampa Bay Business Journal. There's the Atlanta Business Journal. Like the Business Journal has all these different franchises around the country. This seems like a very similar business model.
Yep. I feel like this is where media needs to really go into.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And like you said, you want to get that news out quick, right? Like with what we do for the podcast, we release an episode every Friday. So our episode, today's Monday, we have an episode releasing this Friday. This episode you're listening to right now will release next Friday. What's the date? October 19? No. I don't even know, but it's next Friday. So my point is we have that time, right? Like we have time to edit. We have time to curate content for what we want to put out there. Whereas, we got smoke in the city and everyone's asking, what the hell is all this smoke about? Like you got to come up with an answer pretty quick.
Quick.
Were you searching for that answer? How did that all play out?
Yeah, so one day I was actually on the phone with him, and I was riding around, and I was like, he was saying something about, damn, it's smoky outside. I was like, huh? I said, yeah, it does look kind of smoky outside. So I was like, you know what? Let me look it up. And I looked it up, and I was like, oh, snap. This news just came out. Like, I was like, a lot of people are talking about it on Twitter. A lot of people are saying, like, I go on Twitter, and I'm like, because, when you search on Twitter, you think, a lot of people think how you think. A lot of people talk about it. And I was like, damn, a lot of people was talking about this, so let me just make a post about this. And then I read about it, and I was like, oh, wow. I don't even believe that was in California's. Was it Canada?
Canada, yeah.
I don't see. That's what they say. I gotta trust the people that's in that field. They study that type of thing. So I was like, I couldn't believe there was a lot of smoke coming out. I was tripping. I was like, I know I'm not the only one that's seeing this right now. So I just literally walked outside, took a photo of this, and then published it like that.
That's hilarious. Where is that? Bayshore?
Yeah, that's actually right there.
Davis Islands Bridge?
Right there by TGH.
Yeah. That was wild. I had a cough that day. I was like, is my cough from the smoke? What the hell's going on, man? But yeah, wildfires in Canada. How crazy. Allegedly, right?
Allegedly. That's what the experts say.
How have you dealt with misinformation, right? Like you just said, you get, some crazy shit happens, right? Like these fires or smoke in the city. You get information that says, hey, it's from fires in Canada. I'm sure you've dealt with like, oh shit, I put something up and it was incorrect. Mm-hmm. Does that happen pretty often for you?
Yeah, I actually had one time. I only had one major that I can remember. It was about was it Mike Williams? He was actually hurt, and he was actually supposed to. I guess from the news they said he passed, but it was like a lot of people were saying he passed or he didn't pass. So I promoted it as if. I let the community know that he did pass, but really he was still on life support. But eventually he ended up passing a couple of days later.
Right.
So it was kind of a little bit too soon.
Yeah.
But it was like misinformation.
Did you get some heat for that?
No, a lot of people didn't know. Yeah,
that's a close one, right? Like,
yeah.
That's like not that.
Because it was so close to the actual, like, I guess, unfortunate event that he passed away, R.I.P. Mike Williams. But it was still wasn't accurate though, so I had to I didn't want to say I posted that too early or whatever, right. But because he was still fighting for his life at that time, so it was like that was the kind of touchy one. But I couldn't remember any other ones. I triple checked all my.
You have to.
Yeah, so
that's a big responsibility.
I even sent some of my content out to them to read it over, to see, to search it up. So we have a group of people that we send all our materials to, and they pretty much do the research on it, and then I would go in and we use we make our posts like this, and then we create the story. So we try to make sure, because I don't want to post nothing and my spelling is off,
Yeah,
so
that's a bad look, right?
People will catch that in a heartbeat. Like if your spelling is terrible, you messed up on a post, we have to triple check everything before we post it, and get reliable sources as well. Because if the news is posting it, then it's 9 times out of 10 they're reliable. Sometimes the news is not always reliable, but I'm not afraid to update and let them know, like, okay, this is what happened now. This is, it's the latest, and this changed. So
I feel like that's just the nature of news, right?
Like news.
If there's a breaking story, information might get out that's a little bit, incorrect. Like Perry Harvey Park, right? Like I don't even know if they have found that person that vandalized that park. Do you know anything about that?
No, they haven't found.
I know they're investigating it.
Yep.
But, once that person is found, I'm sure that's another update for you guys, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we found the guy or girl or whoever it was. But yeah, I would imagine that's a challenge for you at scale, right? As you move to more cities, it's like, how the hell are you checking all this information you're being fed from multiple markets? But you have a third party that actually validates information.
Yeah, so we're all in a group chat. We have probably about 10, I mean, maybe five of us is in the group chat. And so with every content that we do, we all go through each content and see which one is valuable, like good content to post. And so that's why each one has their own city and stuff like that. And then that's way is a lot more easier. So now he's verifying all his stuff. And then when we find our content now, we can just double check, like, hey, is this a good story? Like, is this, you know what I'm saying, legit? Does it look legit? So we all feed off each other and see which ones would make the page actually decent, where people want to know about.
Yeah, you got to have those checks. There's also so many things that happen that are kind of like you mentioned about some projects you're working on you can't talk about on air, right? There's things that happen that come out before the public knows about it. And then you got to build those relationships to get that information. Is that you kind of going out there meeting people?
Yeah, so a lot of these business owners, they own a lot of different stuff too. So they're probably building another restaurant, and they already contacted me like, "Hey, Cliff, we're about to open this up, or we're about to promote this new menu." Like for example, Charlie's Steakhouse.
Right.
They did. They reached out to me because they're about to come out with vegan steak. And a lot of that, I was like, man, I love this. This is gonna be good, because you know a lot of people are like, why would you sell vegan? But believe it or not, people order it, and
It almost doesn't make sense, right? Because Charlie's is such an iconic steak, meat, wood grilled fire, right? Like for them to come out with a vegan steak, people are like, what?
Yep. So like for example, that relationship you got to build, and then they see the results. The people are really engaging into some of my posts that they, a lot of them say like, you're probably like the most, every time you post, you probably get the most engagement that we actually worked with. And they always just want to keep promoting themselves, brand recognition and stuff like that. That's key right there. Keeping your brand within, an influencer is really, really, really powerful. So
there's so many people that have their own opinion. We were talking earlier just about comments on Instagram and stuff. You ever get hit up by business owners like, look at this second comment? I guess the question's why? Does Charlie's have an untapped vegan customer base? That's such a good question though, right? Like an iconic steakhouse is coming out with a vegan steak. Why? Do you ever get businesses hitting you up and saying like, your people are talking shit? Like, why are they?
No, I you know what's crazy? I actually let them know before. They know coming in, like, look, we don't delete comments unless it's like really bad or whatever.
Right.
So we let people speak their opinion. So you're free to comment whatever you want to comment. So I let them know. I was like, hey, are you okay with, people just saying whatever, and be like, yeah, I don't care. That's engagement. Like I tell them that's engagement. It actually helps push out your business out way more faster than if nobody comments on it. So if you have people comment on it, I say, hey, that's a good thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because now it's getting spread to so much more people, even though
they might be right.
even though they might be actually right in the comments. So I let them know, and I said it's actually helping your business grow, spread way more faster than some other just simple posts. Like you gotta try to come up, and that's another thing. We try to come up with a way to promote something to where we're not really advertising. If that makes sense. We don't want to make it seem like it's a straight up advertisement. A lot of people just be like, oh, he's this is an ad. Like I'm not gonna pay attention to this, or I'm not gonna go to this. So a lot of our videos that we do make is more of a experience than just an ad, and a lot of people don't know that, but it's really an ad, low key, and people just think I'm just making like a something you should know. I think you can look up to one of our, if you scroll up, let me see. So you can go to, like the Broman Barbecue, voted best. So we had like a little content on.
Damn, that looks good.
Yeah, so I did a voiceover for that, and that was like a promo, and a lot of people just think it's just, you know what I mean? But it's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually one of the best barbecues I had.
Yeah, and then people are validating that and saying like, oh, it's the best place ever. Yeah, that's something you know, as Tyler and I have talked about, like getting sponsors for the platform, we don't do any sponsors or any paid advertising, but there's definitely a fine line for us where I would never want the show. I would never want someone to pay to be on this show. I feel like you have to keep it organic and you have to keep it honest. And I think you're right. As soon as someone can smell this disingenuous, unauthentic, like fake thing, they check out.
Yep.
Because
They
there's a
check
lot
out.
of BS on the internet.
Yep.
And people can smell it right away.
Right off the back. And so when we work with these businesses, we try to like let me go there and experience it and let the community know what I experienced. And so that's me showcasing like what happened, what I did, what I ate, and not just be like, hey, come to Brumman's Barbecue. They have a special for ribs. You
Right.
should, you should eat it, and come here. Only on Fridays they have happy hour.
Right.
People are gonna be like, this is an ad. Like, I'm not gonna go here because you got paid for this.
Well, it's like the Charlie Steakhouse thing, right? Like
Yeah.
that, you almost put that out as like a news article. Like, hey, this is the first steakhouse to have plant-based steak, even though they had reached out and they wanted that promotion.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a tricky balance.
So that's a lot of these companies, believe it or not, they're actually do like a press release with all these different influencers. So a lot of that article with the plant-based steak got reached out. It got spread out to different major influencers, and then it's actually true because they actually are the first plant steakhouse to have that, and so they ran with that headline, and it's a great headline to run because it's not really like an advertisement, but it's like you made history because you're really probably the only steakhouse that will probably ever do that. But it's just it was a cool story as well. So I was happy to do something like that because you're not going to see something like that often, and then it's in our city,
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's like a trip. That's like the trifecta. That's perfect. Yeah, that's kind of the trick with advertising, right? Perfect advertising is not advertising at all. It's just making the news and doing something that people want to be attracted to and pay attention to. Almost like what you've created with Tampa Latest in your marketing platform. It's like you've created Tampa Latest, this amazing platform that people are attracted to and very interested in. And then in this indirect way, they find out about you and your marketing services.
Yep.
It's really the same thing. Did you go to school for marketing?
Yeah, I went to school for marketing. I actually dropped out of college, to be honest with you. I was in school and I was studying computers and marketing, and then I was broke. I was like broke and I needed some money, so I started my marketing company, building websites. And because I couldn't afford it, so I was like, you know what? Let me just create my own business and because I was doing it on the side while I was in school, and eventually when that took off, I started creating lead generation websites. I'm not sure you know what that is. But once that took off, it kind of opened my eyes. I was like, man, I could just do this full time. And then ever since then, I haven't looked back. And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Dropped out of school, created your own business, and now you're very successful and you've created this incredible platform. Well, dude, your story's been amazing.
Appreciate it,
And
man.
I appreciate your time today. Tell people where to find you? Obviously at Tampa Latest, but what are some other things? I know you have a website, all the other stuff.
Yeah, the easiest way is just to go on Instagram. Everything is on the link. So on the bio, you can really just find everything. Once you get to the website, you can do press release. If you want to be featured. The easiest way to contact us is definitely by DMs. We have people that can answer DMs now, so they can
Finally.
they can definitely respond anytime. Sponsorships, and then also if you want to get in touch with some of our new products that we're coming down, you can always email us. Like I said, we're also looking for angel investors to help put this finishing touch on this product. So that'll be the easiest way on Tampa Latest.
I can't wait to get off air and hear about this incredible product.
Yeah. We already got contracts with like 5 different restaurants. So, yeah, it's actually, I'm excited.
Can't wait to hear about it.
Yep.
Well, thanks again, man. Cliff, appreciate it. All righty. Bye, everybody.
Appreciate it.